I was dating my son online without knowing until we met face to face and I got the shock of my life.
Now, the truth, see, there is something very, very important that is happening in the society right now as a result of these broken marriages and all that. If you don't know any of your parents, or you're raised by a single mother or a single father, or in fact, there is something you don't know about one of your parents, don't get into relationship or get married to anybody until you get to know them very well.
Story time with Trendy Grandma. I was in love with this guy in my secondary school days, and unfortunately, I got pregnant. My parents took me to a convent where I carried my pregnancy to full term, and then I delivered my baby. My parents took my baby away. I did not know where they took my baby. They now sent me back to school. Honestly, many people around my village, except very few siblings, knew that I was pregnant and that I had a baby because I continued school and everything as normal. So I didn't know where my baby was. Fear could not even let me ask my parents where this baby was. I grew up, did all my education and everything, and then my parents sent me abroad to go and do my masters. After doing my masters, I stayed abroad. I was finding it difficult to keep a relationship. I tried different relationships. It didn't work for me. So I decided to go online to search for a relationship. And I got this handsome young guy and we fell in love instantly. But we were still doing online dating. We haven't really seen each other. But to be honest with you, we do everything via video call. So it got to a time that I need to come back and meet him because he has already proposed to me via video call. And I accepted. So we planned everything. He told his people, my parents were late. So I told my uncles and so on that I was coming back, that someone was asking my hand in marriage. I came back. He came to the airport to meet me. Then from the airport, we went into the hotel. Honestly, I don't want to tell you guys what happened because I actually made it out with my son. That means we had a carnal knowledge of each other. Then, haven't known anything. He didn't know anything. He came to my village, met my uncle and everything. Everybody was in love with him. So we agreed and arranged everything. Now, it got to a time for me to go and know his people so that we'll do all finalization about how they will come. When I got there, his parents were still alive. And they started asking me, what's your name? Where are you from? I was just singing like a bird. So the father was like, wait a minute, what did you say? I told him my name. What's the name of your mother? I told him the name of my mother. What's the name of your father? I told him the name of my father. He was like, you are from this village. I said yes. So he now went out and called the wife because the wife was a bit unstable, you know. According to my husband's son, that the grandmother had a stroke and was still kind of recovering. They went and they talked to each other. After talking to each other, they came back and said that this marriage will not hold. Though. I was like, what do you mean? And then my fiance was like, what do you people mean? They told my son, that is your mother. And I thought that was the greatest joke of the century. To be honest with you, if you see both of us, you won't even believe that I'm older than him. Because he looks so matured. Very, very matured. You will never ever believe that I'm older than him. Though he told me his age, and then obviously in that his age, I was supposed to be 2 years older than him. So probably because I told him my age, and he now elevated his age. But obviously he looked that age that he talked about. I said anyway, 2 years shouldn't be any problem. But I know that I was about 14 years older than him. I got pregnant around 13 years. That was where the father started explaining that one glorious morning like this, they had a knock on the door. And who was it? It was my parents that brought new baby to them and said, look at your child. Your son impregnated our daughter, and then you think that we will hold the child? Take your child. And said that was the end. That they didn't see my parents again. And that was how they started taking care of my son. And my son grew up and everything. They didn't even know where I was. So obviously I traveled and so on. And me, I couldn't ask my parents, where was this child? I didn't know what they did to the child, but I concluded that they must have given that child to adoption. Maybe because I had the child in the convent, so maybe they gave it to the sisters, probably give out for adoption. So that was in my head, but I couldn't ask my parents this until they left this world because they believed that I brought shame to the family. They believed that whatever they did was the best for me because they hid it so that nobody will know what actually happened. And that was how they told me this story. My son was crying. He was hitting himself on the floor and saying that he must marry me, that he's in love with me. I said, shut up! You don't even understand what is happening here. How do you explain what we have done? In the culture, we have to go and do some rituals because we have known each other carnally and we shouldn't have done that. And you're still talking about love. Love what? Are you crazy? So that was exactly what happened. And now, they started telling us what we have to do. We have to go to the oracle. We have to do this right. Even there was one, they said that I have to go somewhere and be naked, and they do this and do that. I told them I go to church and I cannot do all those ones. That I have to go and pray. After all, I didn't know he was my son when whatever happened. I didn't know. But I'm so ashamed even to have a relationship as mother and son with him. When I asked them about the father of my son, that is the man that got me pregnant, they said that the guy was knocked down by a moving vehicle about 4 years back, that he got into drugs and was abusing drugs, and he didn't amount to anything. So they managed him until that fateful day that he got knocked down. That their son, who is supposed to be my own son, thought that they were directly his parents. He saw that his father as his big brother who did not amount to anything. You really need to ask questions before you go into any relationship. You really need to ask deep questions, because this is a situation that will haunt me for the rest of my life. To be honest with you, I don't even think I'll get married again. So you guys, what do you think I should do? Should I still bring this child closer as my son? Because I am still thinking that he is still having that feelings. Because to be honest, he's not seeing me as his mother. So what do I do? Should I continue to keep him off my side? Or is he going to come back to normal as mother and son? Please, I need you to help me. I will be in the comment section reading the comments.
Stand up for what is right in an unjust society. Silence for crime. Thank you. Share, like, and follow.